Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the guy who was lucky enough to associate with Bill Child and RC Willey about 18 months or so ago, and it's always been my policy to find people that I like, trust, and admire to go into business with, and I hit the jackpot with Bill Child.
My name is Bill Child. I'm the chairman of the board of the RC Willey Home Furnishings Company. The company was started in 1932 by Rufus Call Willey selling appliances door to door. In 1954, he passed away and turned the keys over to me, and we built the company, and 40 years later we sold it to the second richest man in the world, a gentleman by the name of Warren Buffett.
I bought the Nebraska Furniture Mart back in 1983, which is an outstanding institution that dominates the furniture retailing business in the state of Nebraska. And as I always do when I buy a business, it's like kind of like asking a girl, are there any more like you? And so I asked the Blumpkin family, who ran the Furniture Mart, whether there was anybody in the country that was really in the same league as they were. And the only answer they came back with was RC Willey.
When I took over the company, we were doing $250,000 in sales, and when I sold it to Warren, 40 years later, we were doing $250 million. We had 1,600 employees, and when I retired, some 7, 8 years later, we were doing $800 million, and we had almost 3,000 employees. Well, it wasn't a business that I had planned on getting into. I had married a beautiful young lady, and her father happened to be Rufus Call Willey. Rufus Call Willey had an appliance business. I had helped him a little bit. I knew a little bit about selling. I had sold some product. I knew how to write up a contract. I knew how to send it to the bank. We knew he wasn't well, and the day I graduated, he gave me the keys and said, "I'll be back." And consequently, it was not an ulcer that he thought it was cancer of the pancreas. Well, here I was the logical one, knew more about it than anybody else, so I thought, well, I'll run it, I'll have to run it, which I did for a while. I learned an awful lot. It was a rather interesting experience because I thought all businesses had money. So I found out we had a lot more liabilities than we had assets. But anyway, make a long story short, we were rather underwater financially. That was my first lesson, and it was a good lesson because at that point I said, if I ever get solvent, I will never mortgage a building. I will never be under that kind of pressure again, and consequently we haven't. We are very, very comfortable in our company because we have no debt and we have actually cash surplus. The interesting story was the fact that we started out in debt with one employee, $250,000 in sales. 40 years later, we sell it to the second richest man in the world, Warren Buffett. There has to be a lot in between. It's very interesting. How can you go from almost a bankrupt company to one that is solvent and meets all the criteria of Warren Buffett? Well, it is very important to maximize your business, and the best way to do it is to take care of those consumers and those customers that you have. It's always important to get new ones, but you hope you don't lose a lot of the old ones. And if you can sell the old ones more product, it really does enhance your profitability, it enhances your growth, you continue to grow, and it makes it exciting for the consumer. We got into carpeting, exercise equipment, computers, all areas of furniture, the case goods called the bedroom, the dining room, casual furniture, reclining chairs, the sofas. Detail in the pillows, it's very nicely done. Pretty much we tried to expand constantly so that we would make it a more important resource. So the minute that we expanded into furniture and expanded our store, our volume doubled. And it doubled simply because the same customers were buying more product from us. A team is crucial. You grow only as fast as you can get good people. It was very difficult for me to learn how to delegate. That was one of the big problems. was learning to delegate because I did everything. I sold, I answered the telephone, I wrote the contracts, I negotiated with the bank, I paid the bills. You know, I was a one-man guy, a one-man show. But you can't walk out in the warehouse and see how many televisions you have, or you can't walk out in the warehouse and see if everybody is working. You more or less have to depend on people. Maybe you can use your time more valuable doing something else. Maybe you can hire someone to help you do some of these things that are detailed. It's very important, I think, to get the right person in the right slot. We're all wired a little differently. And some people have talents in one area and not in another area. Without people, you're like a man out in the wilderness, you know. You need help, you need people, you need good support. You need people that are good in the financial end, good in the operational end, people that are good in the display end. If a management is ethical, honest, and creates trust within the employee, associate, then they're going to do well. And employees are going to be very, very satisfied and stay with you a long time. Very rarely do you get to associate with an icon, with the world's greatest investor. Well, the business has a lot of perks. I've met people that I would never meet before if it were not for having a successful business, and especially when I got tied up with Warren Buffett.
We went down golfing together a few months back. We had Bill Gates there and Tom Murphy of Cap Cities ABC and a couple of younger guys from Microsoft.
And he did invite me to go play golf at Augusta. Boy, I was really excited about it. I always wanted to go to Augusta, let alone play Augusta. And so I practiced for about a month. There was 6 or 7 of us went out that morning and flew from Omaha to Augusta, Georgia. It was Bill Gates, Steve Ballmer, a couple of Bill's people, and Warren. There was one guy who said, you know, we got quite a foursome out here. We got Bill Gates, we got Tom Murphy, and we've got Warren Buffett, and then there's some other guy. I was the some other guy, and what a great experience.
And in a group like that, everybody commented after. None of them had met Bill before, except of course I knew him, but all the rest of them, and they all universally came up with the same evaluation of Bill, that not only is he a terrific businessman, but he's just a terrific human being.
I kept thinking, am I here? Pinch myself, am I here? Am I hearing all this? This is such fascinating. I mean, I could have gone to Harvard for a semester and never learned half as much as I learned that night.